4057 Lamont Street in San Diego. Going to go ahead and do a digital inspection here of the existing solar system on this roof. There is 8 solar panels up here. The panels themselves are manufactured by a company called REC. These are 365 watt panels. And so 8 of those would be expected to offset about $150 worth of electrical usage per month. So not a huge system, but will help make a dent in that SDG&E bill. As you can see, they are installed flat. They'll always produce a little bit more electricity if they're tilted up to the south. What does that do? That gets them to face the sun throughout the majority of the year. These are going to produce really good in the dead of summer when the sun is directly overhead, but usually the sun is in the southern sky, and so we like to tilt them to the south. When we get a little bit of a tilt on them, they also will shed the morning dew and that buildup of dirt and sediment that happens slowly over time. It would be my advice to get these cleaned every probably 6 to 8 months, because these are really dirty, and you can see the big bird poops that have accumulated on these panels. That is in fact losing efficiency and losing solar production because of how dirty they are. So that's first and foremost. It is a professional install. Looks to be installed really well. It's got this bird mesh to keep birds from nesting underneath it, and so it's not all that easy to see what's going on underneath without actually pulling this netting off or pulling panels up. But what we're looking for is no dangling wires and nice clean waterproofing. And so these standoffs or attachment points were torched in to the modified bitumen torch down roofing system. So that looks really good. I wouldn't expect any major roofing concerns anytime soon. Anytime we get near the drain on a roof, we can see the discoloration where a little bit of water sits, and that's pretty typical on low slope roofs. But all in all, this roof looks good. Good bleed out in the seams, nice coping metal around the edges. All of the flashings are still intact, and the pipe is sealed to the flashing. So nothing to be too concerned about there. The inverters are what's called Enphase microinverters. I believe it is the M250 model. Those are going to be covered under a 25-year warranty. And Enphase is still in business and actually does a great job with their warranty, assuming the system has monitoring. We've looked around the home and we haven't found any monitoring hardware, and so that would be the question, is who has access to the monitoring. There will be a transfer of ownership process for the monitoring, assuming it's actually somewhere, and I just haven't found it. But Enphase charges $350. It's a one-time fee to change ownership of the system into the new owner, and the warranty transfers right along with it. Panels are covered by a 25-year warranty. Panel warranties, unfortunately, are pretty useless. It's nearly impossible to process manufacturer panel warranties. It's way cheaper and easier just to replace a panel if it were to die. None of these panels are broken or shattered. There's no physical damage to them, and so no reason to believe that the panels are all still in perfectly good condition. The microinverters will die, and so it is important to have monitoring on those microinverters, as they need firmware and software updates over time, and the manufacturer has to have visibility to those microinverters to send out replacements. So we'll need to figure that out. This thing is basically a shutoff switch. So if you're up here and needed to work on the system, you could turn it off, and what that does is it cuts grid power or AC power to this system to make it safe to work on. These do go bad over time. We don't like to see these on a roof, but they were required by building code very briefly for a couple of years. And then what we'll do is, when it has an issue, we come and just eliminate it, because it was arguable in the code, and so some jurisdiction would enforce this, while others would not. REC panels, Enphase microinverters, solid waterproofing, professional install. Probably undersized for the usage on the home.